Hello there, everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoin Guides, making my guide for Vanquish on God Hard difficulty. Today we're doing Act 2, Mission 4, Struggle. And this is another one of those, I would say, kind of like a breather mission. Nothing too hard, because we do kind of slowly make our way up to the top of this, but this isn't the mission that's going to give you any grief, really. It's mostly just like nice bits of cover, you know, hide out, and then pop out, and then, you know, kill the enemies when you get the chance. Watch out for those grenades, and you, of course, you know, use the armor tank and that little bit of cover that we first get as, well, of course, cover. So make sure you hide behind those. I did, unfortunately, lose the first robot, because I didn't realize there was actually a second one, robot legs that we had to take out. So luckily for me, he decided to turn around and expose himself. So now I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, again, waste these guys while I can and just poke my head out every once in a while, take cover as much as possible, and try not to die, pretty much. Yeah, at this point, we pretty much just turned Vanquish into a damn actual cover shooter, which is insane to think about because, like I said, I don't think the game is supposed to be a cover shooter, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't remember exactly when I picked up the rocket launcher. I think it must have been sometime between now and here. Or I might have actually checked. I might have gotten the rocket launcher there and then checkpointed. So I think that's probably what I did. Because I did die a couple times here, which would explain it. No need for the shotgun right now. I'm keeping the rocket launcher on mostly for like these turret guys that appear up here. And pretty much just anybody that just gives me trouble and grief. And now we're just kind of just waiting out, you know, the health and stuff. And yeah, I'd recommend just, you know, using the rocket launcher if you have it, just to take out these couple of turrets. Because getting rid of them is just going to be nice and helpful. By the way, you can sort of like do a nice, like when you're dodging into RS, you can do like a nice like rocket lock-on thing. Where you can like dodge into it and then continuously lock on with really nothing, what's the word I'm looking for? Prohibiting your lock-on, I guess. Like your lock-on still like continues even when you're in ARS while you're focused on them, which is nice. Also, yeah, that guy got screwed over big time. I was gonna try to save him, but unfortunately, he got killed before I could make it there. So I take cover behind this little vehicle right here. And just, you know, again, pick them off as I see fit. For the most part right now, we just have to deal with regular old-fashioned USN Georgies. But I think there was a USR around there somewhere. The gold one. They do not infinitely spawn. This is not the mission where they actually infinitely spawn. The next, I think it's the next mission. It's either the next one or the one after that. That's the one that's the infamous, notorious mission. The one that even on hard mode I struggled with. But I recently found out there's actually a way you can skip past all that bullshit. But I play that mission relatively straight. So you'll see me get to play it that way. But once we get to that mission, I'm going to give you guys another bit of a tip that you can do to just essentially avoid most of the bullshit for later. I don't have a visual guide of it, but I can at least tell you what you could potentially do. And I could lead you to somebody who does have a visual guide of it. So we'll get to that when we get to that, because right now we're focused on, you know, getting up this damn hill, which seems to be relatively tough. We're not too tough. I mean, again, they're just mostly just regular enemies. And again, luckily they don't respawn, which is nice. Not until a later mission. There's like one mission I can even think of that they actually do seem to relatively respawn in. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't take the opportunity just to use the sniper rifle when I had it. So that's another thing that you probably could do if you wanted to take them out much faster than I was, because I was too busy focusing on using the assault rifle. Yeah, I didn't really think that much in this playthrough. I kind of just winged it. So that's mostly what it is. I'm just showing you guys like the efforts, the fruits of my labor, so to speak, of me just flying through this at a relatively non-aggressive pace, so to speak. Yeah, take out those couple of turrets up there, and then take out this turret guy, aim for the head, get him killed. And move on up, and then we should get a checkpoint soon. I think it's like once you get out of this room, I think you get a checkpoint. Which checkpoints are a godsend in this game. Considering the fact that if you didn't want to lose score, you could go back to title screen. Also, yeah, take out that sniper. And for right now, as you see, like I'm not actually taking cover. I didn't press square to take full-on cover. And the reason being is so that way I can kind of like move around between it and still have the cover. So that's just something that I end up doing in pretty much almost any game, really. It works wonders. It works wonders. So once these guys are taken out, we're going to go ahead and head in. And I seem to be running out of assault rifle ammo here. And unfortunately not finding any. Which, to be fair, we don't really need it. But, you know. I like to have it for just quick shots and stuff. It's how I play. Take that guy out right there. He's not going to even bother facing you. Statue there. Head upstairs and get your checkpoint. So, alright. On to the next little part that we have to deal with. So, this one's going to be a little bit longer than the other section, only because these enemies keep respawning, but not infinitely, but they just keep seeming to come and not stop. So, my best advice is just to watch your minimap and kind of like keep an eye on where they're going to. Because as long as you keep an eye on where they're at all times, you should be okay. And then take them out one by one. Also, this area gives me Dead Space 2 vibes. Which, speaking of Dead Space, I would love to do at some point, maybe like a Dead Space Impossible / Zealot guide. Because I have actually, not exactly recently, but I think it was like earlier this year I did actually beat Dead Space 2 on Zealot for the first time. I haven't beaten hardcore mode. I got close, but then I fudged up getting to the second checkpoint. I got to like the ice room, and then I screwed it up. And I was pissed, and I had to go back like a few hours, and I was not very happy about that. But luckily, Dead Space 2 can be beaten relatively fast, actually. Like 5 to 6 hours, I think it is. Something like that, so. Not a lot of time. Hardcore mode doesn't seem to be that impossible anymore to reach. But for right now, yeah, I would love to do a Dead Space 1 Impossible. But the other thing, too, is like I know we're getting the Dead Space remake, and I would love to have a PS5 to be able to play on, but I don't have a PS5 yet because I'm too dumb to get one to figure out where. I mean, I know like there's things you could buy online or whatever, but I'm just too scared to do it. And I believe that my local store should have one, but I'm also just too scared to ask them about it because I feel like I'm going to get ridiculed for even asking if they have one. It's weird, I know, but like for some reason, I always think that people have it out for me, like at all times. It just always seems like people are just pissed off at me for whatever reason. I look like somebody, I guess, to be mad at, apparently. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I am an asshole, but like, they don't know me. Maybe I have a resting bitch face. That's probably what's going on. They just look at me and their mood just sours, knowing that like I look like I'm in a bad mood, but I'm really not. Like most of the time, I'm just too busy thinking about like, damn, that was really cool, like what I did in Vanquish. I'm just too busy concentrating on that shit rather than thinking about like, you know, hating on literally everybody. Yeah, sorry, I have like nothing to talk about here because like, yeah, these are just simple spots. This isn't really that tough of a mission. And I do want to say real fast that even though I say this isn't a tough mission, that doesn't mean that it's not hard still. This game is relatively brutal. It's all about positioning. It's all about knowing where the enemies are going to spawn. And that's how you pretty much just take these guys out with relative ease. Also, there's a sniper up there, so be very careful. Because if you get blasted by that sniper, you probably will die. You'll either die or you go into ARS. So either one is not something I want to go in and bother with. Looks like we took out most of them. I think the only reason I even was using the rocket launcher is because like I had the ammo for it. So, you know, might as well use it, I guess. But yeah, take out the sniper first. That's up there. And then just start, you know, cleaning out the rest of these guys. And then everything from here should be relatively simple. Of course, there's got to be a turret guy there. We could use a rocket launcher, but I'd rather just save them. You never really know when you need them. And then go ahead and head up the hill. Oh, boy. Yeah, this is only just, like, a prequel to what we're going to have to deal with later on. And I believe it is Act 2 that has the infamous mission, if I'm thinking correctly. I want to say it might be the next mission, and I'll edit it, and... well, hell, I'll just look at how long the video is, and I'll probably just know from there. I actually had to look up another specific guide commentator's stuff to even be able to just figure out what I need. Well, I eventually did figure it out, but then I looked up his guide, and then he did like the same thing I did at the end, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's that, but I didn't know about the first half of it. So, you guys will see what I'm talking about when we get there. I know, the suspense is probably killing you, but... it is what it is. We also should be getting a checkpoint soon. I think like after you hit this button, I think you get a checkpoint. So yeah, again, the rest of this should be relatively straightforward and simple from here. Especially by now, because like by now, in this guide particularly, like we've gotten relatively okay at knowing where... or knowing how to deal with, you know, enemies and stuff, like, especially the small fry. If we get shot too much, just, you know, hide back here. This has really, really good cover. They can't aim into here. And they probably won't even bother with throwing grenades too much. Even if they could, they probably wouldn't be able to make it. As you can see, like, some of them are just trying to, like, jump up in melee, but they can't even get that going, so... we just put them in a unfortunate animation loop. Sometimes. At least it looked like he was doing that. I have had that happen a couple of times where just enemies just either don't do anything or they just get stuck in the animation loop, and it's really helpful when that happens, but you know, it takes multiple tries to get that to work. So yeah, that's pretty much it for it. That's the mission, folks. So I will see you all in the next mission. As always, take care, everybody.